Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. This is going to be my 2014 NFL kickoff video. In this video, we're talking a little bit about football and the upcoming season as a whole, not just focused just on my San Francisco 49ers. So we're talking a little bit about everything. Going to give you my predictions all the way down to the Super Bowl. Going to talk a little bit about division by division, seeing what's going down. Of course, more than anything, I'm going to start in the NFC West because that's where my 49ers play, and that's where I spend most of my time thinking about what's going down. Of course, we'll cover everything else from the South and the AFC and everything else to go along with there. But honestly, when you start with it, my San Francisco 49ers have a damn good football team. But respect is earned, and respect, you have to sort of, give that up to other people. The Seattle Seahawks were a damn good football team last year. Honestly, when you look at that team, they didn't have a whole lot of subtractions. They also didn't have a whole lot of additions to that team. I can think of Tate is now the wide receiver for, I believe, the Detroit Lions. He is a weapon that you would think you would lose. I believe there was also a wide receiver, Sidney Rice. He had to retire. Two of the wide receivers are gone. I'm sure they've replaced him one way or another with other people in the system. But honestly, that defense and that offense, I really want to pick my San Francisco 49ers to win the NFC West. But I don't think that you can pick any team to win a division with the Seattle Seahawks until you're able to beat that team at home. Because basically, we need a regular season victory over these guys to prove that we can do it, come playoff time. We've done everything we can do to make sure that we can get into the playoffs. But if we can't buckle up and play against this team, what's the point? I mean, honestly, last year everybody knows about the drop pass, you can't say, they didn't put it. It was Colin Kaepernick, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He threw the ball. Michael Crabtree, one of the best wide receivers out there. You had Richard Sherman, one of the best cornerbacks in the game. This was an awesome story. It was an awesome one play, and we weren't able to convert. We couldn't do it. They went on. They won the Super Bowl. If we were able to catch that pass, you never know. It could be us holding that Lombardi Trophy. It's been a long time since that's been in San Francisco, Santa Clara, whatever you want to call it now. Lots of stories about the San Francisco 49ers, mostly talking about the new football team. But, until we're able to win that game on the road, I'm not going to say that any team's other going to win the West other than the Seattle Seahawks. Moving over to the NFC South, I really like the Saints. But I'm really thinking that the Falcons have a good team that they could really put something together. This is a hard one for me. There's 3 good teams in this division that I want to pick. Fuck the Bucs. I've given it enough time. 2 years in a row, I said the Bucs were going to be my surprise team. They didn't have a good record the year before, but I was like, they got a lot of good pieces in play. And next thing you know, Freeman's not even the quarterback. He got shipped off. He's playing for Minnesota. They're falling apart left and right. Fuck them. I ain't talking about the Bucs no more. They're done. I like the Panthers. I like the Falcons. I like the Saints. I really like looking what the Falcons are doing. But I don't think this is the year that I'm going to pick them. I'm going to go with the Saints winning the South, and I'm going to take the Panthers coming up as the wild card here in this division. From here in the NFC North, I think the best team in this division is the Green Bay Packers. The one thing that's going to hold this team down more than anything else is their defense. I didn't really see them going out, really making any moves on D to really fill any holes. We've seen that Aaron Rodgers has been able to win with this team with basically, a few years ago, he had his running back hurt, he had his 2 wide receivers hurt, lineman hurt, and he was still able to find a way to win games. I have no problems with the Green Bay Packers offense. The defense is the one thing that I think is going to hold them down. Not really scared of the Lions, not really scared of the Vikings. The Bears, you never know. Every once in a while, they have a really good year, and then they have a shitty year, and then they're back to having a good year again, so maybe they can bounce back and be a little bit better than last year. NFC East is a tough one. Fuck the Giants. Fuck the Redskins. I want to pick the Eagles. I really like what they're doing. That offense last year, I think, really came out and surprised a whole lot of people. We're going to have to see if they're going to be able to do it last year. I mean, you go out and you look and see, we only threw two interceptions to, He threw a lot of touchdowns last year, and he only threw 2 picks. I don't think they're going to be able to replace that. I think with that style of offense, them throwing the ball around, definitely looking for some sort of a sophomore slump there for you. But I think I am going to pick the Eagles to win the East. I don't think they'll be able to do exactly what they did last year. I think that maybe with Kelly bringing that Oregon-style offense into the NFL, it might have took some people by surprise. But I think definitely, much like when Miami started having the Wildcat offense, you just saw a whole lot of teams bring that into play, making sure they were able to lock it down, try and copy and paste it yourself. And when was the last time you really heard anybody about running the Wildcat in the NFL anymore? Something works once, everybody copies it, everybody figures it out, and it's done. Cowboys, surprise team coming out of the East. You never know what's going to happen with them. These guys are a great regular season team. They can't win a playoff game to save their lives. So, what's the point of even talking about them? AFC East, I'm going to pick the Patriots to win this division. The Bills are soft. The Jets are soft. Dolphins could be a surprise team. AFC North, we'll check this out. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens to win that division. Steelers, I think, are on the downward slump. Bengals could be a surprise team. Browns could be a surprise team. I know that everybody was looking for Johnny Manziel to take that job over. I think that the Browns can still win with Johnny Manziel sitting on the side. They came out, they won a few surprise games. They took a lot of people by surprise. When they traded Trent Richardson to the Indianapolis Colts last year, everybody looked at they were just sort of fading out because I think it was Brandon Weeden got hurt, and they just wanted to fall down in the draft and pick up the best guy that they could pick up. Maybe they were going after Clowney. Maybe they're looking at somebody else. They ended up picking Manziel in the draft. He didn't get the job. Some people say he might have to sit on the sideline for a year. Some people are even requesting him sit on the sideline for 2 years. It's a lot of money to be paying some guy just to sit on the sideline and go out there and win the job and maybe not even re-sign with you. I've always been the thing of I understand you have to learn, but you also have to play. Only a few guys have really gone out there and really got scared. I mean, Gabbard, when he was in Jacksonville, was in a no-win situation. I've heard a lot of things, people talking about Manziel being related to him, just having no offensive line, no running back. Wide receivers are soft. Of course, you got the wide receiver in Cleveland, Gordon, going to be suspended throughout the whole year. I can't name another Cleveland wide receiver to save my life right now. So, what does he really have there to live? At least he's not taking 50 sacks in a season. You save him up. Maybe you come back from next year. But I think Cleveland could win some games. You never know. To keep him as a surprise team in the back of your mind. AFC South, you got to take the Texans to win this division. I know that's stepping out on a big time sort of curb. Colts were a good team last year. But I don't know. I'm just really feeling the Texans. They've been a team that's been down there. I know that in the past it used to be the Titans that I used to root for at the AFC. And then if I wasn't rooting for the Titans, I really liked rooting for these Texans because I thought that last year they got a raw deal. Matt Schaub was a good quarterback. They ran him out of town because they kept on making fun of him. They threw pick six every game. I can't remember what it got to. 4 games, 5 games in a row. It all started with that one to Richard Sherman that lost the Seahawks game for him. That they had that game in the bag. But last year the Texans were like a number 1 pick to win the AFC as a whole. I think they could come back. They added Clowney to the defense. The quarterback is their biggest weak point. I think Fitzpatrick isn't going to be a quarterback for long. Of course, they made the video on Mallett the other day. I'm really looking to see Mallett take that job as soon as he can. Titans are going to be young. Jags are horrible. AFC West. We'll take a peek over here. I want to root for the Raiders. Want to see them turn it around. Maybe they can win a few games, hoping that they can finish 8-8. I hate the Kansas City Chiefs. They suck. San Diego Chargers could be a surprise team. They got a lot of age on this team. A lot of guys that have been there for a long time. I honestly thought last year they were going to blow this up. They were going to... I really am surprised that they would bring back a lot of the guys that they have. Denver, of course, one of the best teams in the NFL, reaching all the way to the Super Bowl last year. A lot of people had them picking them to win the whole thing, and then they just sort of blew a flat tire. They couldn't get anything off the ground to save their lives. Almost feel bad for anybody who wasn't a Seahawks fan who watched that Super Bowl. You just think of that one lady that the husband put the video up of her just having that, I don't know if she was drunk or she was just having a mild breakdown because she was a huge Broncos fan. And she was just pissed off that Peyton Manning, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, couldn't even do anything to save his life out there. So I'm looking forward to Peyton Manning getting out there, seeing how far he can go. As far as going to the Super Bowl from the AFC, I'm going to pick the Denver Broncos. And for my NFC team, I'm not going to say who they are, but basically they have to win a game in order to get there, and that's the only game that's going to matter in this whole season to me. We got to win some playoff games. We got to win on the road. Let's get this done. Go Niners.